All right, it is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time for Tier Ranking Tuesdays here on Two Tone Talk. Preseason football is upon us. A few weeks ago, we tier ranked quarterbacks. Then we did wide receiver ones. Then we did head coaches. And then last week we did running backs. And this week we are looking at wide receiver twos. Every wide receiver two, as they're listed on the depth chart for all 32 teams, and we are putting them in one of these four categories. Best, great, good, meh. Wide receiver twos can be difficult because you judge them by a different standard than, of course, you would a wide receiver one, but we're going by division. Please make sure to like, comment, and sub. We are starting in the NFC East with Devontae Smith, and right off the bat, I'm going to put him into the best category. Absolutely. This is not even fair. He is pretty much a wide receiver one who is playing wide receiver two because the Eagles happen to have one of the only guys that a team would be dumb enough to trade away, that an organization would be dumb enough to trade. They've got A.J. Brown at that wide receiver one position, and then Devontae Smith, who would be a wide receiver one on most teams, is wide receiver two. It ain't even fair. We now go to the Washington Commanders, Jahan Dotson. A guy that maybe you don't hear a whole lot about. Obviously, Terry McLaurin is wide receiver one. They've got a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels coming in. Been kind of a difficult situation to try to get guys going, but I think Jahan Dotson could go into the good category. This is one of those guys that I'm excited to see with a new quarterback, to see how he can kind of progress into the new system, new head coach as well. We'll see. I mean, with a guy like Terry McLaurin at wide receiver one, this is the kind of player that you could see have an explosion of a year if Jaden Daniels can be any semblance of that guy. Wan'Dale Robinson with the New York Giants. Obviously, Malik Neighbors as the wide receiver one. You've been seeing clips of him in training camp tearing it up. I'm going to have to put Wan'Dale Robinson in the meh category. I don't really see anything there that excites me. Keep in mind, Daniel Jones is the quarterback. It's hard to get excited about that too, even with Malik Neighbors. But Wan'Dale Robinson, just as a wide receiver two, he feels like a guy that needs to be, wide receiver three, maybe even further down than that. So I'm going to put that into the meh category. Brandon Cooks as the wide receiver two for the Cowboys. He's good. He's good. I mean, obviously, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best wide receivers in the game. You've got Dak Prescott, who's a very good regular season quarterback. But Brandon Cooks, I mean, that's just, that's a name that you hear and you say, that's a reliable guy. I mean, he's a guy you'd, I guess, like to have. But I can't put him any higher than good. He's a good wide receiver, too. Nothing more I could say about him. We now go to the AFC East with the rookie Keon Coleman. And with Keon Coleman, I have to say kind of what I expect him to be. And I'm actually looking at him maybe even as wide receiver one by the time this thing's over with. Because you look at the Bills and they've got Curtis Samuel and they've got a couple other guys. But Keon Coleman's definitely going to have an opportunity there in Buffalo to really get the ball a lot. So you could see him elevate. For right now, I am also going to throw him into the good category. I expect Keon Coleman to be good. Obviously, with Josh Allen throwing him the ball, I think that you will see him kind of flourish. You will see him, like I said, with opportunities to get the ball a whole lot because they don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. They don't have Gabe Davis anymore. So, like I said, he's going to have his chances. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, you got big shoes to fill there with Diggs and Davis, but we shall see. Demario Douglas with the Patriots. There's a reason you're hearing the Patriots name thrown around with the Brandon Ayuk trades. It's because Demario Douglas goes into the meh category, and even their wide receiver one probably goes in the meh category. Jacoby Myers. I mean, not meh, but just fine. They need some reinforcements there in New England. That's probably why you're hearing them connected to these Brandon Ayuk trade rumors, especially in a division with the Jets and Dolphins and Bills. Really need to try to get something going, and I just don't see anything exciting about the Patriots wide receiving group. Mike Williams is the wide receiver 2 for the Jets. I respect his career. Obviously, he has done some amazing things. He has had quite the career. But in terms of what I am expecting from him, this is one of the reasons why I'm not sold on the Jets. This may seem disrespectful. I'm putting Mike Williams into the meh category, not because he hasn't had a great career, not because he hasn't had some great moments in his NFL career, but he's been in the league for a little while now, and he's coming off of injury. I just don't know. It's kind of the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Like, obviously, I respect Aaron Rodgers' career and what he's accomplished, but I'm iffy because he's, older now. He's coming off a major injury that's kept him out. I'm just not sold, and maybe they'll prove me wrong, but that's why I'm putting Mike Williams into the meh category. I obviously know Mike Williams, what he's done. Yes, he's a freak. He's been a freak, but the injuries and the age. It's not about the ability. It's the injuries and the age for me. Jalen Waddle is the first one in the great category. I mean, Jalen Waddle, just a perfect complement to Tyreek Hill as a wide receiver too. He's got the speed. He's got that explosive playmaking ability. I'm even tempted to put him up into the best category, but I'm going to leave him at great for now as we go to the NFC West. And I've got Brandon Ayuk as a wide receiver 2 for the 49ers, because as of this moment, he has not been traded. The rumor mill is running rampant. He might be a wide receiver 1 for somebody very soon, but for right now, he is still the wide receiver 2 for the 49ers, and he is great. There is a reason why teams are clamoring for him, like the Patriots and the Steelers. It is because he is great, and he is very well capable of being a wide receiver 1 for somebody. So we will see. But for right now, he's the wide receiver 2 for the 49ers. We'll see how things unfold with that. Now we go to the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to be honest, I had to look up who even was the wide receiver 2 for the Arizona Cardinals, and it is Michael Wilson. I mean, this is a guy I had to look up and see kind of what his year even looked like last year. I know the Cardinals had a very iffy situation. I'm going to say good. And here's why I'm going to say I expect a good season for this guy. Because two things. Number one, Kyler Murray's back, and Kyler Murray still has potential to be a great player in this league, I think. And now you've got Marvin Harrison out there taking all that attention. I still expect him to be great. So now that you got Marvin out there, that's going to open up doors for guys like this to have a lot of opportunities. So I'm going to say I expect a good year for him. Puka Nacua, I'm going to put great verging on best. I mean, I'm tempted to put him into the best category, but he's young. He's obviously already dealing with injuries. I actually, if you remember, I did tier rankings for wide receiver 1s, and at that time, they had Puka Nacua listed as the wide receiver 1 for the Rams, but now the official depth chart has come out, and they've got Cooper Kupp listed as wide receiver 1 with Puka Nacua as wide receiver 2. I think that could very well change even before the regular season, but for right now, Puka Nacua is the wide receiver 2 for the Rams. He had such a great year. He's made some unbelievable plays for them already, and I think if he has another year like he had last year, he will absolutely be in the best category. That guy's the real deal, absolutely. Tyler Lockett for the Seahawks. I mean, how long has this guy been? I mean, I feel like Tyler Lockett has been with the Seahawks forever. I'm going to put him in the great category because Tyler Lockett, I mean, this guy, I feel like you could go back 10 years and Tyler Lockett was playing wide receiver for the Seahawks. I mean, he is a Seattle Seahawks man, and he delivers. There's a reason. I mean, he's obviously playing behind DK Metcalf. The guy constantly puts up good numbers. The guy's reliable. He's consistent. Works for me. Ladd McConkey. I love that name. Ladd McConkey is listed as the wide receiver 2 for the Chargers. Once again, a rookie, so you kind of just have to go off of kind of what you expect. He's going to get his opportunities, absolutely. I'm going to put Ladd into the good category. I'm going to put Ladd McConkey in the good category. I think that, like I said, he'll have his chances because Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both gone. They're hurting for receivers there. They need somebody to step out. Ladd McConkey was their draft pick as a wide receiver. I believe 4th round, maybe 4th, 5th round. Maybe even third. I don't even remember, but I do know they're excited about him. He's apparently been making plays in camp that's got them excited. Some people have even talked about him being wide receiver 1 for the Chargers. I think people could see him kind of in a Cooper Kupp role with them. For right now, he's wide receiver 2. I expect it to be good. It's one of those I'll believe it when I see it, because I wasn't too crazy about him. You know, there was rumors of the Titans drafting him, and I was just like, that might come back to bite me later. But Marvin Mims Jr. with the Broncos, I mean, didn't have too great of a year. I'm going to go into the meh category with Marvin Mims. Really, this whole Broncos team is kind of meh when you look at the grand scheme of the roster, and they're hurting for cap space, so they weren't really able to do too much. Obviously, they're in a new direction with their quarterback. Who knows? They're talking about Jarrett Stidham being the starting quarterback for them. They obviously drafted Bo Nix way too high, in my opinion. So the Broncos' entire organization is kind of meh right now, and Marvin Mims Jr. at wide receiver 2 is no exception. How about Jacoby Myers with the Raiders? This one, I think this one kind of goes into the meh category for me as well. I mean, I looked up his stats before I started. I mean, and keep in mind, I also, I might move him up to good. Because the Raiders quarterback position was kind of awful last year, and it doesn't look like it's going to be much better this year. I mean, they do have Gardner Minshew, which probably would be an upgrade from what they've been having to deal with. But I'm gonna keep him in meh. Rashee Rice. Actually, no. Rashee Rice, I think, is wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs. Hollywood Brown is wide receiver 2. And I expect Hollywood Brown to be good. I think if he was with any other team, we wouldn't even really be talking about it, Marquise Brown. But because he's with the Chiefs, it doesn't really matter if he's meh, good, great, best, doesn't really matter. He's probably going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter. Honestly, when I did the wide receiver 1 tier rankings, they had Marquise Brown as wide receiver 1. But now it's changed in Rashee Rice, rightfully so. You'll see Rashee Rice down here because I don't know how to get his picture off of here because I had it in here. Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown is now listed as wide receiver 2. And I think he will do good because he's with the Chiefs. So there you go. Jordan Addison with the Vikings. I know there are apparently some reports about him like getting arrested for stuff and might have to go on trial, and that might affect his season. But that would be a shame for Minnesota because I think he's great. I mean, when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson, who's probably the best wide receiver in the league, and then you have a good guy like this, I mean, this is a great wide receiver too, that I think, it's unfortunate that Minnesota's quarterback position is what it is because they have a good lineup of wide receivers there. Keenan Allen with the Bears, great. I mean, I'm excited for him to be there. I hope he doesn't do anything week 1 because they're playing the Titans. I hope Titans shut him down. But, they've got quite the trio with him and Odunze and DJ Moore. That's going to be quite the trio to stop. And I'm excited, to see Keenan Allen somewhere other than the Chargers. I think he's going to have a great year. Romeo Doubs with the Packers. I'm just put him into good because the Packers kind of have a triple threat. I mean, they have 3 guys who can play wide receiver 1. So I don't know how much production he's going to get because Jordan Love's going to be throwing the ball to so many different guys. Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. He's going to be he's got a slew of guys that he could explode in any given game. And so Romeo Doubs is one of those. I don't know if his stats will reflect it just because Jordan Love's going to be getting the ball to so many different people. Jamison Williams, I think, is going to have a great year. Jamison Williams, I mean, really the entire Detroit Lions, they got it going everywhere in Detroit. And Jamison Williams, I mean, with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams, that could be nasty. With Jahmyr Gibbs and all those guys in the backfield, Detroit's going to be big time. Or they should be. Rashad Bateman, I know he's dealing with injury, but apparently they said it's not going to be too serious. He'll be ready for week 1. I'm just glad we're close enough to week 1 that even has to be a discussion. Is that will he be ready by week 1? Because week 1's only like a month away. I think Bateman's good. I think Rashad Bateman is good. I think for Baltimore to get as much hype as they do, I feel like their wide receiver 1 should be a wide receiver 2. And I feel like their wide receiver 2 should be a wide receiver 3. Like, I feel like they need one more guy at the top of the depth chart to really make this a solid wide receiving group. But, yeah, he's good. Jerry Jeudy, interesting. I'm going to put him in the good category too. I'm not confident in Deshaun Watson's ability to get him the ball, but Jerry Jeudy in Cleveland is intriguing because him and Amari Cooper, the Bama boys, that could be very interesting. I mean, that AFC North, I'm putting Jeudy in the good category, but I mean, the AFC North better hope he stays in good and not great because, you know, everybody always waited for Jerry Jeudy to break out in Denver. It never happened. Now he's going to Cleveland, which is a better team. I don't know. That's intriguing. Very intriguing. T. Higgins. I'm going to put T. Higgins in the best category. You don't think I forgot about the best category. That's where T. Higgins goes. I mean, T. Higgins, a lot of teams were wanting him as wide receiver 1 this offseason. A lot of teams were talking about bringing in T. Higgins to be, you know, their new wide receiver 1. The Titans were rumored with that. But T. Higgins ends up back in Cincinnati for one more year. Him and Jamar Chase. I mean, Cincinnati, if Joe Burrow could stay healthy, they're going to be dangerous, and T. Higgins is one of the key reasons why. He is one of the best wide receiver 2s in the NFL. As a matter of fact, he's probably number 2 behind Devontae Smith. So absolutely, T. Higgins belongs in the best category. Currently in Pittsburgh, Van Jefferson is listed as the wide receiver 2 for the Steelers. I couldn't believe that. But on ESPN, he is listed as the number 2 guy. I don't see that at all. I think that'll change, but I'm going to put Van Jefferson into the meh category. I mean, obviously, it's probably going to be Russell Wilson there, and George Pickens is wide receiver 1. I don't know if I'm even buying that Van Jefferson's going to be wide receiver 2, but if so, I'm putting that into the meh category. That doesn't excite me. Adam Thielen is the wide receiver 2 for the Carolina Panthers. A guy who's now been in the league a while. We all remember his days in Minnesota. I think he'll have a good year. I think, obviously, they're trying to figure things out in Carolina, how to help Bryce Young. I think Adam Thielen will be productive. I don't know if we'll get that same type of production he used to have in Minnesota when he used to go off. But I'm going to say Adam Thielen, good. Good. Darnell Mooney is set to be wide receiver 2 for Atlanta. And I'm expecting... Man, I got a lot of guys in the good category. But I can't put him higher than that. I think Darnell Mooney's going to have... You can't really see him because the picture's too wide. But Darnell Mooney in Atlanta, this is a guy... One of the cases on here where you've got a guy coming in who's going to be in an elevated role than what he's been in Chicago. He was going to be like wide receiver 3 or 4. Now he's elevated to wide receiver 2. He's taken a step up the totem pole. And this is a guy that I'm interested. I mean, because, when he got the ball, he did good things in Chicago. Now he's going to have an opportunity in Atlanta to, again, elevated role behind Drake London there. He's going to have his chances with Kirk Cousins. It's a good situation for him, and what an opportunity for him to step up his game. Chris Godwin, kind of like Tyler Lockett with the Seahawks. How long has Chris Godwin been with the Bucs? Him and Mike Evans been doing this a while. I'm going to put him into the great category because I know he's coming off of a made. No, hold on. I might have to use a little Mike Williams logic here because with Mike Williams, I talked about his age and his injury, coming off of injury as a reason why he's in the meh category for me. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I might have to apply that same logic to Chris Godwin. With his injury history, age. Let's do this. How old is Chris Godwin and Mike Williams? Oh man, I don't want to. Man, I'm throwing everybody into good. I'm gonna put him into good. Let it be known I was gonna put him into great until I thought about that injury history and age. Like I talked about, he's been in Tampa Bay forever. Yeah, I'll put him there. The Saints, Rashid Shaheed. I love that name. Rashid Shaheed for the Saints, the last team in the NFC South. Behind Olave. I for sure can't put him in great. Meh. Nah. Nah. I mean that. I mean, he's got a cool name. I just don't know. I'm not really excited about anything. I mean, I think Chris Olave is a great wide receiver one. Derek Carr actually, I mean, stats wise, had a good year. I don't see anything about the Saints that's just making me feel warm and fuzzy. So he goes in the meh category. Josh Downs. Josh Downs. We are to the AFC South now. Josh Downs with the Colts. Behind, I need to move me because I'm covering up some of these guys. Behind Michael Pittman, he's definitely not meh. I another one into the good category. I think he'll be good. It's going to come down to Anthony Richardson's ability to stay healthy and to actually play in actual football games, not just hopes and dreams. But I think he'll be good. Tank Dell is listed as wide receiver one for Houston, and as bad as I hate to do it, I put him in the great category. I really do, because, I will say, similar to Dobbs from Green Bay, he's going to be a part of a trio with Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs, so CJ Stroud's going to have his options. So I don't know about what his stats will look like, because especially with Dalton Schultz, he's going to have a lot of places to go with the ball. But I think Tank Dell, his playmaking ability in the open field, he's such an explosive, exciting player. I hate to do it, but I'm going to put him in the great category. Gabe Davis is the wide receiver 2 in Jacksonville. What do you think? I mean, do you think in Buffalo, was it kind of a Josh Allen thing? I mean, we're going to find out because he's with a new team. In terms of wide receiver 2s, I'm going to put him into great. Just so my buddy Hacker down in Jacksonville won't get too mad at him. I'll put him into great. And the reason why is because I think he's going to get the ball a lot. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays for them. We obviously know he can be a deep threat. We saw it in Buffalo a whole lot. And I'm honestly surprised he's not the wide receiver 1 for them. I do think he is the best wide receiver on their roster. I know Christian Kirk and everything, but I think Gabe Davis is the best wide receiver on their roster. I think Buffalo is going to miss him. I think Gabe Davis, sure. Yeah, I'm going to be fair. Last is D-Hop. Like I said, there's a picture of Rashee Rice there for Kansas City. I thought he was wide receiver 1, and so wide receiver 2. So his picture's there. It doesn't belong. I just don't know how to get rid of it. D-Hop is last, as always. And I know he's a little banged up right now. He's going to miss some practice time. People will say I'm being a homer. This is freaking DeAndre Hopkins. He goes in the great category. Because last year he had a really solid year when people tried to say he was washed and people tried to say that he was Tennessee's where wide receivers go to die. He had a great year. Now he's kind of in the wide receiver 2 behind Calvin Ridley. You got to account for Ridley, his speed, his route running. Then you have Hopkins, who the way he plays and the style he plays is something that he's going to be able to do until he just doesn't want to do it anymore. I think DeAndre Hopkins is a great wide receiver too. And anybody who tries to tell you he's not would love to have him on their team as a wide receiver too. So there you go. Every wide receiver 2 ranked. Let me know in the comments, because I know you will, how disgusted you are with me for this list. Let me know what I should do next week for Tier Rank Tuesdays. Everybody have a good day. Bye.